The UK has the second highest teenage pregnancy rate in the developed world, and is second only to the United States. There has been a decline of conceptions to women under 18 of over 8% since 2008, but both the government and the media claim this is not enough. Both of these aspects of society influence the youth and have a lot of control over their perceptions and understanding in how to deal with teenage sex, pregnancy, and abortion. The influences they have on teenagers reaches almost every aspect of their daily lives: education, films and TV programmes, and the depiction of celebrities in the press. In this documentary you will see how youth culture is affected, and what this has meant for the league tables over recent years, and perhaps find an answer to how we can aid the daunting issue of teenage pregnancy. Why do you think England has such a high teenage pregnancy rate?
I'm surprised that England does, actually. I should imagine a lot of it's to do with education. If I think back to when I was at school, sex education was biological. It wasn't emotional or social or intellectual, anything which is more important to a teenager than just what you do.
As a parent of 3 teenagers, I can honestly say that my first feeling would be it's to do with education. I have seen my 3 teenagers go through the British education system and there has been very sporadic teaching, particularly in year 5 or 6 and then again in year 9. As an educator myself, I would really wish that there could be more of a focus in the education system that deals with the whole child, the whole person, not such an intense focus on the academic league table successes of the particular school in question, but much more an educational system, rather ideally speaking of course, which focuses on the development of the whole person.
I think it's because there's a lot of options for people to have after they've had sex. Like, you've got the morning after pill, you've got the abortions and stuff like that, and I think people are just relying on them basically.
Yeah, so if you come from a slightly poorer family, or maybe with parents who aren't as committed or don't really know how to bring up a child as well as other people, then they won't teach a child, the kid, the same sort of values or the same sort of thoughts that they should be thinking about the future. So they just go out and do what makes them feel good.
It's so easy to get alcohol, and I think alcohol is the main cause of people being reckless and careless about their actions, and then they have sex with people they don't know, they don't use a condom or other contraceptions, and then that leads to girls getting pregnant.
I think teenagers in particular are much more sexually active nowadays compared to 20 years ago. It's much more normal for teenagers to go out and clubbing and stuff. You get that kind of situation.
A lot of people don't seem to think that it's going to happen to them. There seems to be this whole, oh, it won't be me kind of attitude at the minute.
I think one of the most important things that affects young teenagers is the incredible pressure and hype in the media. You have all these magazines which are putting forward an image of skinny, fashionable, lots of makeup, and teenagers do feel pressurised that they need to conform. So therefore, if you are getting yourself all dressed up, wearing makeup perhaps earlier than is necessary, you are inevitably going to invite the attractions of the opposite sex, and that is going to lead to the next step. And for me, I think that is one of the most serious things. The magazines, the television, everywhere. It's everywhere around young people today. There's nowhere that is just saying, be yourself, doesn't matter what size you are, you don't need to conform. From a very early age, you have these almost subliminal messages coming at you from the media, and I think it's very sad.
I think poverty has a big part to play. Because I think high proportions of young people who are pregnant are often from socially deprived areas, so that would need to be addressed.
They don't care about contraception or anything, and then that leads to girls having to get the morning after pill, which is also extremely easy, and they don't even have to tell the parents that they don't care about any of that thing.
What do you think could be done to reduce the high rate?
Just promote safe sex.
I think sex education needs to be like properly exercised in schools and stuff.
Again, I think it has to be education. There has to be the kind of forum amongst schoolgirls, schoolboys, from the earliest age, starting perhaps even pre-secondary school, 9, 11, that kind of age, where there's open discussion encouraged, not just, as I say, the how of sexuality, but the implications socially, emotionally.
Combined with there's quite a high culture of like drugs and alcohol. Combined with that, I think there's a "it won't happen to me" mentality.
But then again, you still have the responsibility that the media has to accept. They are the ones, and perhaps it goes right back to the responsibility of the individual, that particular fashion editor of the magazine. They have to think themselves, am I in any way inappropriately affecting the teenagers of my country by constantly putting out young models who are of a very thin and tall, thin and fashionable sort of image? Am I being fair? So it's not only the government, but it also has to rest on the shoulders of the individuals.